Yay.
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
Imagine gaining the leadership skills that could redefine your career. Join Coach BZ on the Leadership and Success Podcast, where each episode delivers practical insights from world-class speakers, military leaders, and industry experts. We dive deep into what matters most: building resilient teams, leading through uncertainty, and navigating complexity with clarity and confidence. Every conversation is crafted for aspiring leaders like you who are ready to grow, lead, and make a lasting impact. Don't miss our powerful live sessions and recent highlights. Michelle Hayward on building diverse, high-performing technical teams. Ann Leslie on leading through global complexity and cybersecurity risk. Ron Carpenter AI exploring faith, resilience, and AI-powered leadership. Colonel Michelle G.I. Gardner-Ince on commanding influence from the battlefield to the boardroom. Chris Robinson on shifting from drift to drive in life and leadership. And Coach Enrique Acosta Gonzalez on mentorship, legacy, and heart-centered leadership. Ready to level up your leadership journey? Tune in on Spotify, Apple, Audible Podcasts, YouTube Live, and LinkedIn Live. Join the movement toward leadership excellence. Listen now and start transforming your success.
Welcome back to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ. I'm so glad you're here because today we have a very special guest, someone whose leadership journey spans the Marine Corps, global business, ministry, and mentorship. My guest is Eddie Bright Jr., the Global CEO and partner of ApTask and ApTask Global Workforce Solutions. Under his leadership, ApTask has grown into a worldwide leader in staffing, executive search, and workforce solutions with operations in India, Germany, London, Canada, Mexico, and across the US. Eddie is a veteran certified and minority-owned business leader who has proven that diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging aren't just ideals. They're a recipe for measurable business growth. In fact, he's shown companies how truly inclusive ecosystems can be 35% to 42% more profitable. He's been recognized by staffing industry analysts as one of the top DE and I influencers for 3 years running, honored as a top Black business visionary by Bizalite Review, and named Executive Member of the Year by ITSMF, the leading organization for Black technology executives. But Eddie's story goes far beyond the boardroom. He's a former U.S. Marine Corps officer, a minister at Community Baptist Church, and the co-founder of Sports University Team IZOD, where he and the late NBA legend Daryl Dawkins mentored young athletes like Karl Anthony Towns, Kyrie Irving, and Naz Reid, helping them develop life skills that last far beyond the court. Most importantly, Eddie is a man grounded in faith, family, and service, recently celebrating 27 years of marriage with his wife, Kay, and raising their son, Brandon. Today, Eddie is here to share his wisdom on leadership, workforce transformation, DEI as strategy, mentorship, and legacy. So buckle up, because this conversation is going to challenge the way you think about leadership and inspire you to take action in your own journey.
I call personal branding what people say about you when you're not in the room. When we think about the interviewing process and that company that you really want to go work for, what have they been left with from the interview? Most important thing that a candidate can ask during the interviewing process are the right type of questions. What are you looking for, Mr. Interviewer or Miss Interviewer? Why haven't you filled this role? How long has it been open? What are your expectations for the right person? And then at the close of it, when it's all over, why do you believe that I would be the right person for this role? Now, many times, conversely, the company is doing those type of takeaways on you. But you can reverse that. Number one, it shows insight. Now, you only ask these questions after you've collectively shared insight. So it's a logical question. But it also shows how you have that level of accountability.
All right, everyone, I'm so excited today. This is a wonderful, wonderful day. I have a very, very special guest for you today. Before we get started, let's do our moment of gratitude, as it is customary on the show. It's going to take less than 1 minute, but I want you for just a moment to think about one thing you are grateful for today. So if you are open to it and it is safe, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath if you must, and just take 1 second and be grateful for one thing today. What is it for you? What are you grateful for? I think today I'm grateful for my networking. Somebody says your network is your net worth. And I'm so grateful for the people I've met throughout my professional career who have helped me, many of which I will never be able to pay back. But I am so grateful to have a wonderful, wonderful network. And I guess I've really never met a person who was a stranger to me. Everybody is a friend, at least a LinkedIn friend or connection. But valuing people and adding value to them and them doing the same for you, I think that's really what makes the world go around. So today I am grateful for my network. All right, so whatever you are grateful for, please type it in the comment so we can share across the community. And now, let me tell you a little bit more about my guest today, Eddie Bright Jr. He really doesn't need any introduction, right? He's a global CEO of ApTask and the trailblazer in workforce solution, DEI innovation, and servant leadership, from transforming companies with human-centered design to mentoring the next generation through Sports University Team IZOD. Eddie embodies the kind of leadership that inspire change in boardrooms and communities alike. I think if you've ever heard him speak on TV, on the radio, or anywhere, you will know what I am talking about. He really reminds me a lot of one of my late mentor, General Callan, where when he gets in a room and he speaks, people just stop and they listen. Right? There is that gravitas, that seriousness, there is that energy that comes out of him. He really wants to add value, and every word he says really, really matters. So I want you guys to pay attention. This is your chance to hear Eddie's story. Marine Corps officer, visionary CEO, award-winning DEI influencer, minister, husband, father, and again, actionable insights you can apply immediately in your own leadership journey. So guys, pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Eddie Bright Jr. How are you doing today, Eddie?
Bob, I'm not sure. That's a tremendous introduction. I don't know whether to stay or to run. And running, there ain't nobody chasing me. That's a tremendous introduction. But thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your ministry and part of the good that you're bringing into the world.
Thank you so much. It's really, really a great honor to be in your presence, sir. This is the last time I'm going to use the word sir. So Eddie, what are you grateful for today?
You know, it is funny when you were reflecting there for a moment. I'm grateful for a clarity of mind this morning, just to be able to think, to be able to clear my thoughts, and just a clarity of mind this
That's
morning.
powerful.
To be able to be in this moment. And that
Yes.
might sound way out there to some, but I'm grateful to just be able to be in this moment, and
Wow.
come what will, just be in this
Yes.
moment. That I think we bring so much with us, and we carry so much that sometimes we're not able to just be in the moment. So
Yes.
I appreciate the
Wow.
question, and I'm grateful for
Powerful.
that.
That's so powerful because part of the reason why I do this, usually I do it around Thanksgiving. There is an organization, they do 21 day of gratefulness challenge where you are grateful for one thing for 21 days every day, and then you challenge somebody else in your network to do the same. And part of the reason why they do that, as you know, being a Marine Corps officer in the military community, it's about
21
22
days.
veteran who commit suicide every single day. And it's really impossible for you to be suicidal and grateful at the same time. You can be depressed and grateful at the same time. You can be anxious and grateful at the very same time. That's just not possible. So mental health is important. And whether you're a believer or not, it's really good and positive, I think, to be grateful. So that's why we do this. So what is one thing about you that most people may not know about?
That I am not where I started. And what do I mean by that? People, when they see individuals that they connect with having some measure of success, whether it's on a large scale or pseudo success or even in community, I think most folks don't know that, hey, I'm just a Black African American that's from Newark, New Jersey, that was part of that northern excursion that many of our forefathers made from the south to the north, and that I am a compilation of a lot of people who lived out things in front of me that I have admired and grasped and made part of me, being myself, but made part of me. And I don't want to get too heavy with you. You're asking what do people don't know about you? Is that I'm a lot of different people who have influenced my life in such a way that I'm grateful for them being in my life and me being able to emulate or take what I saw in them that impacted me, that they would say to another level, to another
Wow.
level, whether it be my dad or my Uncle Joe or
Yes.
Ron Roberts or Reverend AOL Sutton, just a whole bunch of people that impacted and poured into me, and affected me in such a way that, like they always say, you are your father's son.
Yes.
And you are. So I would sort of lead with that.
That is very, very powerful because we definitely are the people we surround ourselves with, dead or alive. Like for me, I know my mother had a huge, huge role in making me the man I am today. And that's part of the reason why I do this podcast too. I'm hoping by the end of the hour, you are going to mentor us, teach us from your wisdom and experience. We're not going to get what you have earned, but hopefully have an insight in what you have learned. And I think it could help somebody else.
I'll give you a quick example. When I'm in worship, and people worship in many different ways.
Yes.
When I'm in worship and my mind meditates on just the goodness of God, I cry like a baby. Now here I am, I've led men and am leading individuals all over the world, but I cry like a baby, like a child. And I used to be like, why do I cry? Like, I can't help it. I cry, I'm a crier. So one time I was with my father at his church, and there's a songstress that sings a song that's titled, I Won't Complain.
Yes.
And I'm sitting, I'll never forget it. I'm sitting in the second pew. My father's off to the left. He's leading in worship. And Bob, he was bawling. Bawling. I got it.
Yes.
I'll never forget the moment. My father was bawling uncontrollably to how this song took him to wherever it took him.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I get it. I get it.
Wow.
So we are our parents' children in more
Yes.
ways than one. And even
Hmm.
habits, good habits, bad habits, all these things are things that we need to be mindful of. We need
Yes.
to be, as we grow older, there's some real treasures that we can find
Hmm.
out about ourselves, and maybe we have to make some changes, or we have to
Yes.
navigate some things, or be mindful of how we react to things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've tried to even read books, and I know we'll get into that. I've tried to even read
Yes.
books that help me sit back and really be very introspective of
Wow.
myself.
That is really, really powerful. I know music is quite powerful in life. I think most people, even if you ask them about a very traumatic event, even COVID-19 pandemic, 9/11, which really changed my generation, affected the Gen X's out there. There's usually like a song that you would remember. I
Oh
know
yeah,
where I was, the music I was listening to. I won't complain. Very, very powerful song. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to
that's
climb.
the.
I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. I
I
think
won't
everybody
complain.
can really relate to that. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I will not complain.
I
That's
won't complain.
powerful. That is
That's right.
powerful. And
That's right.
that's why I ask people like you come on the show, great leaders, what do you listen to? What do you watch? What do you read? Because I think you can get inspiration. And somebody could be going through a very, very tough time right now. And just a word of what you're gonna say today, could change the rest of their life. It has that potential. So thank you. Thanks so much. All right. So would you please tell us a little bit about your leadership journey?
Sure. I think that when we think about leadership, we always think that leaders are out here doing great and tremendous things, and they're rallying the cause, and we paint in our minds David slaying Goliath, or
Mm-hmm.
World War II, or if there was a battle and we needed to overcome this. We see the things in the movies where the leader rises, and the leader is the least one you would expect to be. That's
Yes.
not life. That's not life.
Mm.
I had to realize, first of all, you want to realize what your gifts are.
Wow.
You have to grow into your gifts. Now, there's one thing between having your gifts and growing into your gifts. So I'll get to your question in a sort of roundabout way.
Please.
First of all, a leader has to be someone who's not afraid to take up the cause. Now, I say that because you can be taking up a cause and you can be very talented, but you don't necessarily have what I call the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two types of heart. There's a heart for the cause, and there's a
Mm.
heart for the people that you serve.
Wow.
If those two hearts are not working, you will never be an effective leader.
Say that
And
again, please. Say that again. This is powerful.
there's heart for the cause. There's that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's go.
Yes.
But the bigger heart has got to be for the people you
The
serve.
people. Wow.
You've got to want to see them be successful too. You've got to take the time to invest into their cause, why they're here, what is their why.
Yes.
If both those hearts come together, then you can lead.
Hmm.
You'll never get to, we all know, Coach Bob, that you never get to success by yourself. It just doesn't
True.
happen. Not any real success.
Yes.
So if you're going to have real success in your life, if you're going to be what we call a leader, there's got to be that, not a fearlessness, but there's got to be, yeah, I believe we can do that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's got to be, I care about the people that we're going to all do this together and what we are going to do this for.
Mm.
Sometimes the best way to lead is from behind.
Wow.
There's a passage in the Bible, and I want to remember it, where God says to Abraham, he says, walk thou before me and be thou perfect.
Yes.
Walk thou before me and be. Now, what does that mean? What I believe God is saying is, walk thou before me and be mature.
Wow.
Be willing to go get it, knowing that I got your back. Knowing that I got your back. Now, you've got to believe in something. When David came to slay Goliath, what did he say? He said, is there not a cause?
Yes.
He didn't come and say, man, I'm David. I've been out here and I got these rocks and I'm going to take he did say, I'm going to take this giant down. He said, today I'll have his head. But he said, is there not a cause?
Not a cause, yes.
So if you're going to be a leader, there has to be a cause. There has to be a reason why. There has to be value behind it. There's got to be that heart for the people that you serve and you lead. And there's got to be that heart for reaching that goal.
Wow.
You put those two together, you can lead. That's why the best leaders, we know it, are servant leaders. You know, the guy that's out there, I'm the biggest, I'm the baddest, I'm the man. Look at me. Doesn't work. I'm a basketball guy. I love basketball. Well, 5 players have got to become one.
Yes.
5 have got to become one. I love football. 11 have got to come one, and they've got to all be moving at the same time in concert. Yes. It's like a symphony. If the wide receiver's not moving the right way on the play, the quarterback can't get the ball to the other wide receiver. Yes. If that wide receiver is not diverting and taking gravity on the defense towards him, how's he going to get the ball to the wide receiver that might be open?
Wow.
Everything is interconnected. I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself or get too far in front of my skis, but real leaders are servants, and they get a joy out of seeing other people succeed.
Yes.
Sometimes some of my employees will reach milestones and exceed expectations, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. And they'll be like, Ed, you're happier than I am. Yeah, I am. Number one, because I want you to realize the moment. I want you to realize the moment that you reached your goal, and I want you to feel it, and I want you to understand the hard work it took for you to get there. I want you to appreciate it, and I want you to be able to continuously. I want it to become like a muscle memory for you. I want it to become a muscle memory. Like, what is success? How did I get there? What did I put in? Why am I here right now? And hey, my boss is up here more happier than I am. And I'm telling you, to stay in next mode. And I know we'll get into some of my business thoughts on success, but then I want you to stay in next mode. I want you to continuously grow.
Wow, that is really powerful. And that's part of the reason why for this season of the Leadership Success podcast, I have this book by my mentor, Papa John C. Maxwell, right? 21 Laws of Leadership. But then I also have
Coach, may I ask you, does he also talk about the lid?
Yes, the law of the lid. That's the first law, yes. And the reason why I use the Bible is not a religious podcast or anything like that, but really, when I was 17 years old, that's when I really started getting into success, leadership. I've studied the best of them, Tony Robbins, General Powell. I mean, anyone you can think of in this field. I've read their books, listened to their program. But really, the truth is, everything they say, there is really nothing new under the sun, right? In Ecclesiastic, everything they talk about, success or principle for success and leadership, it goes straight back to the Bible. Like one of the best selling self-help book, Think and Grow Rich, As Man Thinketh, so easy. It's all in the Bible. So it's as old as the earth is really. So the verses that you brought about, you bring those leadership principles. Genesis 17:1. Abraham was 90 years old and 9, and the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me and be thou perfect. That is powerful. And then 1 Samuel 17:29, which says, David says, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? Wow, what leadership principle we can get out of those. That's quite powerful. So you've had a remarkable journey in the U.S. Marine Corps as an officer to now being a global CEO. What leadership principles from the Corps have shaped the way you lead in the boardroom?
First one in, last one out. Okay. Listen, the early bird gets the worm. Everybody else gets dirt. I mean,
yes.
You know that, I'm sure, better than I do. Coming out of the Navy, first one in, last one out. I once heard a story, and I'll share it. There was a farmer who was looking for someone to take care of the farm and the barn. You may have heard this before. Mm-hmm. And he did a lot of interviewing. Couldn't find anybody. I mean, he interviewed 20-something people, couldn't find anybody. And he was getting desperate because he needed someone good to watch the barn, watch the animals, and to keep it safe. So he interviewed a gentleman, and this gentleman that he interviewed had good experience, but he wasn't like the other people trying to get into the bits and bytes and talk about what he done. So he said, "Why are you qualified to take this job?" And the gentleman said to him, "Sir, I sleep very well at night."
Wow.
Now, the farmer was like, "Okay, that's a weird answer." He says, "Well, I sleep very well at night." And he had interviewed a lot of people, and he felt something about this guy. Didn't know what it was. He had a good background, but he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you the job." Week later, a big storm came. A big storm, Bob. I mean, like, torrential rain, borderline hurricane, twisters, the whole thing. And so he gets up, and the first thing is he tries to wake the guy. And he, while waiting for him to wake up, he was like, "You know what? Forget that. Let me get to the barn." And when he got to the barn, everything was locked down. All the animals were where they were supposed to be. Everything was positioned just right. And he understood what the guy said when he said, "I sleep well at night."
Wow.
So
That's
when I
powerful.
talk about my journey in leadership, I have tried my very best to be the best at what I do. It's just part of who I am. Now, there may be some things that go into that. Obviously, I've been in settings where, as far as the demographic, I was the only African American.
Yes.
Obviously, I've got a military background. First one in, last one out. Obviously, there's a, how I say this, part of my feeling whole is to be the best that I could be, to be the best one there. I just want to be the best. There's a part of me that's an athlete. I played a lot of basketball, played a lot of sports. You've already said in part of your intro, I built a sports program. There's an aspect of me that loves to compete. There's an aspect of me that loves to win. I've always had to wonder at what expense, because there's quality, there's character, and all those things go into winning. But I think all those things, there's an aspect of me. It would be easy to say as unto the Lord, but we all fall short sometimes in that area. But there is something that I have learned in life, and you started with your show. If someone was to ask me, and this is probably the biggest quadrant of my leadership skill.
Yes.
Someone asked me, "What is your superpower?" Because we like to ask that nowadays. What is your superpower?
Yes.
My superpower is gratitude.
Wow.
That's my superpower. I've said it publicly. I've said it on panels in front of thousands of people.
Yes.
My superpower is gratitude. I keep gratitude in my attitude.
Say that again, please. My goodness. We're not going to go far in this interview. I'm telling you.
I keep gratitude in my attitude. Of
Wow.
all the things I've done and accomplished, that's swell. That's great. All the areas in which I've failed, and it could have gone to the left, gone sideways. Like I said, I'm just a poor black boy that came out of Newark, New Jersey.
Wow.
But out of all the things that I've failed, I keep gratitude up. And people that know me know this. You mentioned me walking into a room. People know when I walk into a room. Listen, first of all, now watch this, and I'll share this with you. Being grateful allows you to be yourself no matter where you are.
Wow.
No matter where you are. As a matter of fact, I'm at a point in my life that if I can't be myself, I don't go. I'll make somebody unhappy if I can't be myself. I am myself no matter where I go, whether I'm in a room sitting with some of the most powerful CEOs in the world, whether I'm sitting in church on Sunday morning, whether we have a prison ministry. I go into Bergen County Jail once a week, every week, whether I'm sitting there, whether I'm sitting with the kids in my basketball program, or whether I'm just sitting back with the wife and just bouncing life within our circle.
Yes.
I just try to be me. I try to
Yourself.
be me. Now I walk
Wow.
circumspectly, of course, you know, obviously, as Paul told I believe it was Timothy, you know, walk
Yes.
circumspectly. I walk circumspectly. I understand the rooms that I'm in, but I'm able to be myself. And I think the favor, and I'm going to throw this word out on our podcast today, the favor that I've been given by very influential individuals is because I'm myself. I'm genuine. I'm genuine. I'm goofy sometimes. I'm always passionate about what I'm talking about. I believe in what I'm talking about. I do my homework on whoever I'm talking to. I don't go in there, you know, blind. You know, so much information you can gain, and then see what your service offering is. Could be a value proposition you could put forth.
Wow.
I do my homework.
That is
So
powerful.
I'm putting all these things together. You asked one simple question about leadership style, but I'm putting all these things together because they have to be in play.
To work together, yes.
They have to be in play, and they
Wow.
have to sometimes
That
be
is
working
powerful.
at the same time.
Now, Eddie, I gotta ask you. I haven't even asked 2 questions that I had prepared. We're already talking about so much. So we're gonna blow away with some. I know you are super busy. I'm so thankful you are here. Can I give you an additional 10, 12 minutes? Can we do that? Because you have so much wisdom. Man, this is incredible. Something you said, be the best, no matter, let me see, how did you say it? Yeah, be the best at what you do. I remember MLK had this speech, one of his best speeches, beside I Have a Dream speech. I think I was maybe 7 or 8 years old when I heard that speech translated in French. He says, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep street even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep the street so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did this job well. Excellence. Wow.
Let me throw something on top of that for you, Bob. I grew up at a time where my father said, Eddie, if you're going to be a garbage man, be the best garbage man that ever lived.
Wow.
He told me that. I say that because sometimes the images that we connote with success are not healthy images, unfortunately.
Yes.
You know, that's why we have a lot of people that want to be influencers.
Yes.
With nothing to influence. You know, that's why we have a lot of people that want to be entertainers, and that's not what their gift is.
Yes.
Or they want to be a sports star. Or they want to be, you know, whatever, you know, because we've been told that the only way to be a success is 1 million people have got to know about you. And then here's the other thing. One of the things that I teach and I promote within my businesses is something called the ZOG. And what that means is that I'm looking to have each one of the people I work with operate from what I call their zone of genius.
Wow.
You have a zone of genius. I have something where I've developed it. It's a zone of genius. Everyone that's watching this podcast has a ZOG. What is your ZOG? What is your zone of genius? What is the one thing, and we've heard how you offer it. What's the one thing you would do for free? There are things within you that are gifts that are meant to be given to the world.
Wow.
They're meant to be given to the world. Now, I've done some things that have helped me. You know, I worked in radio for a while. I learned communications. I'm a student of the word. You know, I love basketball. Now, if we go back and we do a kaleidoscope on all the things I've done, all those things speak the things that I love.
Wow.
They all speak the things that I love. And I've been able, through a position of service, to turn those into service offerings. ApTask is a service offering. We can provide you great talent around the world. Great company, we can do great things. We have different types of upskilling for those. Not just can we place engineers and accountants and finance people and HR people and procurement people and IT people, but we also have, I would call them, I don't want to call them ministries, but we also help place those from the neurodivergent and the disabled community. We place veterans, obviously those that are veterans. We have a passion for that. We have a practice that delivers people from Gen Z because that's a different community. Matter of
Yes.
fact, we don't even call those from Gen Z teenagers. We call them screenagers, because if you
Yes.
can't get them here, you can't get them. You can't get them. And we'll go one
Yes.
step further, because I know we're talking about workforce and how people find jobs. And I saw you show the brief promo in that area. But for the first time in the history of corporate America, there are 5 different generations in the workplace.
Yes.
And because people can't retire as early as they ought to, in the next 2 years, there's going to be 6 generations in the workplace.
Wow.
And each generation has a different assumption. Okay.
Yes.
I had someone the other day call me a boomer. Now, I know they were calling me a baby boomer. I've had people from different areas in which I travel call me an OG, which means original gangster, until a guy the other day, Bob, told me OG means old guy. So all those things are funny, but
Yes.
they're real. We have 5 different generations working right now.
Wow.
And my assumptions about a Gen Zer sitting there with piercings around his entire face, tattoos up to here, hair turned up this way. How am I able to see his genius?
Yes.
I have to be able to see his genius to employ him. I have to be able to see who he is, to tell him and work with him on how he's supposed to work with a millennial or a Gen Xer or a baby boomer. How do I grow him? So we've got a lot of challenges, even in work, even within the ecosystems of companies that are going to be vibrant. And guess what? I need those Gen Zers. I need to know what they want to buy. I need to know why they buy it. I need to know what motivates them. And I need to appreciate it. And I need to be able to help them grow. So there's a lot of different things going on. And and guess what? We're all expecting, you and I, as former military officers, we're expecting everyone's going to get it. They're going to work hard. They're going to find a good mentor. They're going to find an advocate. They're going to find a sponsor. They're going to be willing to go out and get coffee if I tell them to go get coffee. No, they're not. They're going to want to come into the office 5 days a week. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yes.
They believe they can be a CEO at 35,000 feet flying on an airplane on their phone. How are you going to get to come into this office and be willing to grow and do whatever needs to be done for 3 years to move into lower management? How are you going to do that? Unless you understand them and you invest in them. Once again, heart to go forward and to fight that battle for everyone, and heart for all the people that work with you.
That is really powerful. Yeah, I remember when I had the privilege of becoming a commanding officer, and in the Navy is maybe the Marine is the same way, but very different from the Army, where you are pretty much, especially if you go at sea, right? You're pretty much God at sea. You do whatever the heck you want. You have the direction of what you need to do, but nobody looking over your shoulder and all that. But in a way, one great chance, yes, it's true. We have 5 generations working, and that's a challenge. But with a Gen Z, like you say, screenager, they have their phone with them all the time. And when we work in classified spaces, it's very, very difficult to get them to follow the rules and all of that. But even something that's just 20 years ago, when I joined the Navy, I went to boot camp at RTC, Great Lakes in Illinois. I would have my drill sergeant pretty much almost 2 inches from my face, cursing at me and shouting out. But today, if you do it to one of those kids, it's like they're going to fall apart. They need timeout and all of that. It's like they get triggered. It's a completely different environment. So I really had to pause and really think and reflect and change the way I lead to be able to impact them so they could be part of a mission. One team, one fight, mission first, people always, but really getting them to do what they're supposed to do in order to accomplish the mission of the command. But you are right, it's definitely a very different world out there. Wow.
It's not just different. I mean, I went through the same thing at Quantico. I went through the same thing. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yes.
I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I wouldn't trade anything for the disciplines. I mean, I wake up every morning 4:45. If I go to bed at 3:30 in the morning, I wake up at 4:45. It's just how I'm built now. And I thank God for that. I thank God for the disciplines that I needed.
Yes.
That I needed to, you notice I said that.
Powerful.
A lot of
Yes.
people will not accept that. A lot of people will not accept what we
Wow.
have gone through. And you and I, as officers, know freedom ain't free.
That's right.
Freedom.
Wow. That's
The
amazing
freedom-
because
the freedom we enjoy in this country is not
Yes.
free. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make excuse for also some of the injustices that are part of where we live and how we live, especially as we become more politically extreme.
Yes.
But overall, America is the greatest country in the world, and freedom ain't free.
Yeah, that I think nobody can argue that. My godfather used to tell me 12 millions illegal cannot be wrong. People putting their life at risk to come here. There's got to be something about America for sure. When I went to Great Lake 20 years ago, yours is, you said 4:30, right? Mine is 5:30 a.m. No matter where I am, regardless of the time zone, I am up. That's why I'm talking with you today. But this is really wonderful. So guess what? I didn't ask you not even one of the question I had prepared for the first half. We've already blown.
I apologize.
No, it's good. It's good. This is great. I would just have to have you back here. I know you're working on a book. Once it's published, I definitely want you back here. But let me at least ask you a success question before we move over. Maybe I should ask a DEI question too, because DEI is under attack right now in our country, and I don't understand why. Just to get your perspective before we move over to the second half of the show. First is, how do you define success? What is success to you? Because I am afraid, especially for Gen Zer and millennial, they have a very distorted view of success, I think, and I believe that might be a problem. What does success look like to you?
I would define success as the ability to work within your talent for others to benefit from your talent, and a sense of measurable accomplishment along the journey. I know we've referenced the Bible quite a bit today as one of the books that has influenced our lives in more ways than one.
Yes.
In 3 John chapter 1, I believe verse 2, the Bible says, I would have you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers.
Yes.
Powerful verse. And what I will take away from that, the word prosper obviously represents success. But if we understand the original language, what prosper means in the original language is help for your journey. That's what prosper means. So success is, to me, is being able to be in good health and prosper as I go along my journey. Now, obviously, if I'm going along a journey, there has to be a destination that I have in mind. So success happens every day in 100 different ways. 100 different ways. If we're going to put it within work, I think there has to be a sense of accomplishment. There has to be a sense of understanding what you do, understanding why you do it.
Wow, why?
If you operate from the why and you're achieving your why, you're successful every day of the week. Now, what do I mean by that? I have a saying that I like to share. It says, he who knows how will always have a job. He who knows why will always be his boss.
Wow. Say that again. This is powerful.
He who knows how will always have a job. He who knows why will always be his boss. I try as an executive to operate from the why. I operate from the why. I already know how to do it. Now, why am I doing it? And we have to be honest in asking those types of questions, because a lot of people don't want to ask those questions. So guess what? I got a job and I want to be able to move the piece of paper from one side of the desk to the other side. And I get in at 9:15 and I'm looking at my clock at 4:30 because I'm going to be figuring, how can I get out of here before 5?
Yes. Why?
That's not me. That's just not me. That's not me.
Wow. That's powerful.
Success is all those things I just mentioned.
Yes.
All those things. And then
Oh,
understanding what is your why. Really, that's a tough question, Ed. Why are you
yes.
asking that? What does that mean?
Wow, that is really really powerful. But I know the market only looks at numbers. At ApTask, you grew it from 14 million to 72 million during your first tenure as CEO, and now you've returned to lead it again. What were the key levers for that explosive growth?
Relationships,
Yes.
tremendous
Wow.
relationships. If I have any gift, that's my gift. I'm being
Wow.
very transparent. I service the hell out of my relationships. And
So,
watch this, my relationships know this is more than just a job. My meeting their expectations or exceeding them is
mhm.
extremely important to me. I run a company that's willing to
Wow.
invest in making sure, watch this, that we become the sharpest tool in your toolbox.
Wow.
Businesses are in business to make money.
That's powerful.
Especially in the staffing business, we have a lot of our
Yes.
friends. I can get you the best person at the cheapest price, and
Hmm.
that's not our conversation. Our conversation
Yes.
is, number one, understanding that best in class talent means greater revenue, and businesses are in
Mm.
business to make money. And especially in this time of inclusion, let's forget about
Yes.
DEI, because DEI is not the big three-letter word for me. The big three-letter word for me when I'm talking to a client or prospective client is ROI. So there's an
Yes.
I there. So let's use I as inclusion, because companies that are truly inclusive are 35 to 42% more profitable, dependent upon
Mm.
the industry. Dependent
Yes.
upon the industry. If we're talking about retail, it's almost 50% more profitable as opposed to companies that aren't inclusive. So
Wow.
I'm big on those types of things continuously,
Hmm.
um, in terms of what we do.
Wow. That is powerful. That's something you've said. I've heard you say that many, many times. Truly diverse and inclusive company are 35 to 42% more profitable. So even forget about DEI, ESG, CSR, and all of that. Just looking at the profit is definitely something that companies should do. So how do you help client partner turn that from a talking point to a measurable reality?
Uh, you've got creativity,
Yes.
new communities, better succession, a more passionate succession, especially if there's parity. We
Yes.
talk about DEI and all that. No, parity is the word. I start here. Bob Zinger starts here. Susan Edelman starts here.
Hmm.
Xavier Chang starts here. Jonathan Gomez starts here. We all start right here.
Yes.
So what happens if we're all starting in the same place, if there's parity,
Mm.
inclusive parity? We're doing this. And then those that really understand, we understand that we do it like this. Because eventually, if we're all growing, we do it like this.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I'm big on, I don't know how to categorize it, but I'm big on people investing in themselves.
Yes.
When I started in this business, I used to have a manager by the name of Bill Tompkins. And every Friday afternoon at 12 o'clock, Bill would tell me, and this is to show you how long I've been in the business. Bill would tell me to go to the library, and he'd say, Eddie, invest in yourself. I need you to invest
Wow.
in yourself. And back then, there were microfishes and ways to
Yeah.
find out about the companies I served. So I was reading
Hmm.
microfishes, and
Yes.
we're talking like pre-client servers. So I'm taking you way back.
Yeah.
And I
My
would
daughters know nothing about
get
it.
as much information as I could about the
Yes.
clients that I wanted to serve, the industries that I wanted to get into. Now, here's the funny thing
Yes.
about that. I've sort of grown within those industries
Wow.
because
That's
I
powerful.
invested learning. And I would challenge young people to do that. Invest in yourself. And that
Yes.
doesn't mean, and don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean don't take the vacation. That doesn't mean don't
Yes.
do the habits or the hobbies or the things that you like to do, whether it's water skiing or painting.
Hmm.
I'm not saying don't do those things. Do those things. Do things that add to
Wow.
your creativity, but constantly be investing in yourself. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, we do have some younger generations that don't know how to do that. They
Yes.
don't know how to
Yes.
do that, and never have a job.
Hmm.
Always be a consultant to the business.
Wow.
Never have a job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be employed by the company, but approach your engagement as a consultant,
Yes.
as a highly paid
Wow.
consultant to the business.
That's powerful. Yeah, I learned that from Brian Tracy. He used to tell me you need to be the CEO of your own business.
Be the consultant to the business.
Yes.
I'll tell you this too. Those that understand what I'm saying right now don't just get pink slips where someone comes and says, "Hey, Bob, can you come up to HR?" They don't get those calls. Why? Because they're always investing in themselves. They're always understanding what they do. Watch this. They understand how what they do adds to the bottom line of the business. They understand how what they do is broader than the office they sit in or the desk they sit in. They interconnect with marketing and sales and administration and manufacturing and inventory, all those things. They understand. They become a consultant to the business.
Wow.
And watch what happens. When you do that, you begin to develop relationships outside of the area where you just got your head down doing your job.
Yes. Wow,
so
that is powerful.
Your approach is broader. You begin to stand out. They get those projects that have nothing to do with their immediate office.
Yes.
But they expand their reach. And they find themselves being the people that are growing within the company. Hey, why is it that Bob's growing and this one isn't? Because this one's only concerned with moving the piece of paper from that side of the desk to this one. And Bob's out here going to the conferences, making introductions, creating new mentors, hitting that seminar, going online, listening to the stop calls and all the other things with the business. Watch this. And Bob is busy finding out how the competition is doing it.
Yes.
And he's able to take that knowledge and bring it into his ecosystem and go to his boss or say, hey, man, you know, we're doing this, but XYZ company is doing that over there. Maybe we need to do that.
This is powerful. I think this is the most, blown up interview I've ever had in the 4 years I've been doing this. I haven't even scratched the surface. We're almost out of time already. I do have to ask you the 7th question I ask everybody who comes on the podcast.
Sure.
Again, so grateful for your time, but you have so much to share. But I think for those of you listening to us now, especially aspiring leaders in tech and the military, if you just apply one of the ideas that Eddie White Jr. gave today, I think that could literally change your life and your career. Because it really changes your perspective, right? The paradigm, how you look at things. It really makes all the difference, in my humble opinion. So before I go to segment 2, is there a question I should have asked you that I haven't asked yet for the first segment?
Bob, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yes, we have.
I will say this, two things that I think are important to success, and we'll get into them. I think faith is very important.
Yes.
You know, we hear it in various different formats about faith and different settings about faith. You've got to have faith. Yes. Now, what is it? For some, it could be religion. It could be organized religion. It could just be some of the most powerful people I know have a faith that is unshakable. Unshakable. They believe in good things. They envision good things, and they believe, watch this, that they're going to have those good things and that they deserve those good things. So I think faith is very important. And then I would say, be careful who you put around you. Be careful. Choose a good group. If you're the smartest guy in the group, find another group. Okay? Don't allow anybody into your personal space, because your personal is going to affect your business space. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. Your personal is going to affect your business space. So be, I call it the holy of holies. Be very particular who you allow to get close to you. And I'm talking in a personal mind. I don't allow anyone to live rent free in my head.
Wow, that's powerful.
My wife already does a pretty good job of that.
Wow.
She does a great job of that because I'm an open book to her.
Yes.
I'm an open book to her, and she knows that.
Wow, that's powerful.
So my feelings, my personal feelings, I've even done something with her that very few husbands have done. I'll tell her sometimes when, honey, you've hurt my feelings. Now, anybody I'm working with business, I've had people say the worst things to me, and it doesn't faze me. But she owns a piece of my heart. So
wow.
I would say be very careful about the people that you really spend your precious moments with. Because if that's what people that are edifying you and loving on you, and you're free to love on them, and there's
Yes.
open communication, you're going to bring that into your work life. You're going to bring that. You're going to bring that richness into your work life. You'll be able to smile in the midst of the storm and chart a clear course for whatever it is that you're leading.
That's powerful. That is very, very powerful. All right. So, what are you learning right now? I know leaders are learners. What are you getting into these days?
I'm still learning the lesson, Bob, that everything that glitters ain't gold.
Yes.
I am actually in the midst of doing the negotiation where I'm looking to take 100% ownership of my company. And I'm learning that everything that glitters isn't gold. You've got to choose the right partner. It's not to say I don't have the right partner. You've got to make sure that you examine the people that you want to do big things with.
Yes.
Make sure not just that there's a pattern of success. So sometimes the people you'll have the most success with have never been where you want to be able to go, and they want to go with you.
Yes.
So you want to be able to examine and really pull the covers back, and never be afraid to ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Up front, pull the covers back. As I say, pull the thread, unpackage it, everything, especially when you're making those big decisions in business that represent being able to do more, to do bigger, to do better. So I hope I'm answering a question like that.
No. Absolutely. Actually, you remind me in the book of Proverbs, it says, right, know thou diligently the cheer of thy beast, and behold thou thy flock. So know thy flock. You need to know your business and be diligent and build.
Amen.
Wow, that is powerful. So what about failure? No, we always talk about success, and success is great. People see everything you've accomplished in your life, but I love this gun. On one side it says success, the other side say failure. And in my opinion, people who are very successful like yourself have gone through maybe a lot more failure to get where you are. Can you share about how failure has shaped your life?
Sure. I've had, brother. I listen. You know, I've had times I've failed so hard I felt like my head got kicked in.
Yes.
I once heard a mentor tell me something. I was going through a rough patch. Things weren't going right. Didn't know if the company would make it. A book of business sucked, the whole bit. But I was fighting. I was swinging from the ankles to make it work. Yes. And I had someone I really respect tell me, Eddie, your blessing is on the other side of your pain.
Wow.
I've only heard that told to me twice in my life. Once with that business failure, and my younger brother when he passed some years ago, and I was devastated. My younger brother was my heart. I mean, that was my little brother. I did everything in the world that I could do as a big brother for him. Wow. And I was hurting. I was devastated. He died suddenly, and I was hurting.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, but I had someone tell me your blessing is on the other side of that pain.
Wow.
And what was the blessing? The blessing that I was able to give back to people who were suffering from the same things he was suffering from.
Yes.
I was able to speak from a place of intimacy and pain. And I had to get to the other side. Still going on the other side.
Yes.
So I would share that with those that really are going through a tough patch, that if you really want to bring good out of this, then your blessing is on the other side of the pain. It's on the other side.
Powerful.
It's on the other side. You're going to get there. You know, we always hear the cute cliches. He brought you through it. He brought you to it. He bring you through it, and all that's great.
Yes.
What I will tell anyone that wants good and wants to bring good, and they're at a point of just like, keep going. Keep going.
Yes.
Your blessings on the other side of that pain.
Wow, that is powerful. I'm really amazed at the resilience of the human spirit.
Amen.
And wow, that is powerful. So, who are some of your mentors, some of the thought leaders you are following
Sure.
that we should know?
Sure. Well, there's some that you've never heard of. So
Mhm.
I'll put that out there. One of my greatest mentors was a gentleman by the name of Ron Roberts. Ron Roberts came from that old Jack Welch thing. He
Mhm.
always said, "Give me a plant, let me run it." He was Western, the companies that'll give you chills. Western Electric,
Mm.
Lucent, a Gear,
Yeah.
Symbol, Motorola
Mm.
Solutions, Zebra, and everywhere he was,
Yes.
he took me with him, Bob.
Wow.
He told me and taught me, Eddie, stop selling and give me value propositions.
Wow.
Create value. He said, you like to hear yourself talk, you talk real good, all that. He says, I don't need that. He took a liking to me.
Mm.
Watch this. Don't let someone think that you can only do it with the people you know or the people from your side of the tracks. Ron
Yes.
was a white fellow from Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Okay. And he loved on me in a way that I could never be loved by a business acquaintance.
Wow.
And he was a man of love too. He had one son, Jonathan, who was a classic violinist and graduated from Harvard
Mm.
with degrees. And he had another son who had Down syndrome.
Wow.
And him and his wife just did a great job, but he loved on me as if I was his son.
Wow.
He
That's
took a
powerful.
liking to me and he poured into me. So I'm going back 30 years,
Yes.
well over 30 years now. And he just poured into me in a way that he was more than a mentor.
Wow.
And then I would say my uncle, Joe Knight. Uncle Joe rose from that great northbound express out of North Carolina, didn't finish
Mhm.
high school, went into the Marine Corps, average, started as a salesman selling hairspray and combs and brushes to
Mm.
black hair care salons. He used to
Wow.
pick me up when I was 6 years old, take me out in his van, and he would go into all of these beauty salons and
Wow.
he would be in a suit and he'd be impeccable, and all these hairstylists and barbers would be, hey Joe, and he had this just charismatic personality, and
Wow.
I'm a junior, so he'd say, hey June, go out to the van and he'd take the orders and get this. He grew that
Wow.
van to the
Yes.
largest hair care, black hair care and African American
Amazing.
product distributorship in the world.
Wow.
Grew into a multimillionaire. He's retired now in North Carolina,
Wow.
multiple distribution points along the entire Eastern Seaboard, multiple vans all over delivering products,
Yes.
internet. I am just the
Wow.
most amazing salesperson that ever lived.
That's
And
amazing.
he was my uncle. So, my
Wow.
father was more, and my father was, I'm my father's son. My father owned small little record shops in the days when they used to sell records. Everything
Yeah.
wasn't online. And
LPs. Yeah.
customers would come in and say, Mr. Eddie, I want this record. And when they came in from work, the records
Yes.
be there and he'd sell them. And my father taught me that consistency.
Wow.
Be consistent. Wherever you say you're going to go. When you always show up on anything, he was just consistency.
Mm.
And then the
That's
last that I
powerful.
would call as a mentor was the Reverend A.O.L. Sutton. I served under him for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And our church was in the heart of the Bronx. And Bob, I saw everything there. I saw death. I saw a lot of people die from AIDS, drug abuse, everything.
Mm.
But it was Friendly Baptist Church, and he was the friend in Friendly. He had a
Wow.
love for people that was just unshakable.
Mm.
And I served under him.
Powerful.
He
Wow.
was a friend. He was the friend, and we served in a community that could get a little sticky.
Yes.
But he had a joy. He had two things about him. He had a joy, and he had a love for people that just will affect me until I see God myself.
Wow.
It's part of who I am. So
That is really, really powerful. And for those out there listening, if you have somebody like that in your life, please be grateful to them now. Call them, text them, and tell them how much you appreciate them.
Amen. I do it, Bob. I do
Well,
it all the time. I used
wow.
to call Bob. Ron passed some years ago. I used to call Ron and say, Ron, I just want to say thank you and thank you
Yes.
for, I don't even know why you do business with me. I used to say that. He'd say, and he had this deep
Wow.
voice. And whenever you call him, I say, Ron, how you doing? He'd say, super. And I say, well,
Wow.
Ron, listen, I'm
It's
just
amazing.
calling just to check in, just to let you know I'm grateful.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Uncle Joe, I call Uncle Joe still all the time. Reverend Sutton, he has gone on to glory, and my father have gone on to glory. But I do it today. I'll let people know. I
Wow.
have some great, Doug Leby down at Beeline, and I can go
Yes.
right down, Bob Rosetta. I can go right down the line of people who have influenced me, and just little things I've taken away, and they've shown me.
Yes.
Brian Clark over at Agile One. I mean, these are
Wow.
guys who have blessed me, and
That
sometimes
is
I don't
powerful.
know why, but well, you know what it is, Bob?
Yes.
I'll go back to something I said. I'm always myself.
That's right. And then you also said something about leaderships. You cannot really lead unless you serve someone.
Oh,
Without
absolutely.
service.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Like I said, great leaders have heart, meaning they
Yes.
believe we can get it done, and they've got heart for the people that walk beside them, that they serve.
Wow.
Heart for. And
I
you've
could hear
heard
this all day.
before.
Wow.
You've heard this before.
Yes.
People don't care how
Yes.
much you know till they know how much you care. They
Yes.
don't care how much you know. Okay? Those things are still true, even in the age of AI and what AI
Yes.
means. People, there's
Wow.
nothing greater than the human interaction between two humans. Nothing great. There's
That is
still
powerful.
nothing greater. No matter AI is going to do this and AI is going to take these jobs and AI, okay,
Wow.
until AI can reach out and put their hand on your shoulder and let them know that they're here to serve and here to partner with you and here to grow
Wow.
together and here to walk with you, I'm not worried about it. And don't get me
That
wrong,
is powerful.
we use AI, but AI will never
Man.
replace what you and I will get by growing together.
No, this is really, really powerful. I am really, really respectful of your time, but I could be talking to you all day and all night. You have so much wisdom. And again, this is the most blown away episode I've ever had on this podcast because you have so much to say, but everything you say is so important. Can I get 5 more minutes? And
Absolutely.
I know you are busy, Global CEO. I am so grateful you are here. One important question I think I need to ask is, if you could choose 3 people to have dinner with, who would you choose and why? They could be alive, dead, or even mythical figure.
Ooh, boy.
And for those watching online, if you have a question for Eddie Boyd Jr., you see how much wisdom he has. Please go ahead and then type a question. We may be able to get to it while we have live on the show.
Well, there's 3. I wouldn't mind having dinner with Martin Luther King.
Yes.
He brought people together, and we need that right now. We need that. We've lost that. Like I said, the guys with the biggest megaphones are the extremes, and that's not where we live every day. Civility is very important, and faith is very important, and I believe that Martin Luther King had that. So I'd love to have dinner with him. I would then like to have dinner, and this might be a reach, but I'd love to be able to have dinner with Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
He brought an integrity, charisma, wisdom to everything he did, everything he touched, every role that he had. He brought all those things. He didn't have to compromise anything, and I liked that about him. I liked that, and his sense of what was right in the right moment was always there in every piece of work. Because I call his movie career and his acting pieces of art. They were art. They were correct. They were timely. He had that. And then I'd like to spend some time with my father again. My father had a wisdom that was unspoken. My father used to sit back and he put his hands on his belly like this, and he'd just sit there, and it was like he was giving me things unspoken. He believed in me. And I thank God that he allowed my father to see me operating at an optimum, operating at a very high level.
Wow.
I used to have a annual little cookout, and at the cookout would be basketball stars and people from entertainment, corporate giants, and they would all be on my property, white, black, from India, Asian, women. My father, I used to have people like, wow. But I found in those moments that you put good people together and magic happens. They drop all that. I'm from this, I'm that, here's my title. They did none of them. And I had a moment with Ron Roberts, who I shared, was one of my mentors. And he came, I was in one part of the house, and my father was sitting out. He used to sit out by the pool with his hands on his belly like this. He wouldn't say much. And I guess he'd spoken to my father. I'll never forget this moment, Bob. And Ron found me in the house. He said, and he used to call me son too. He said, son, your father's very proud of you. He said, I want to share something with you, your father. But he wasn't telling me that my father was very proud of me. He was telling me that he was very proud of me.
Yes. Wow. And can you also say a little bit about the special relationship you had with NBA superstar?
Sure. So we built Sports University Team IZOD, and people will tell you it was the most successful AAU basketball team in the history of AAU.
Yes.
And it was because of what we did off the court, not so much we did on the court. So I had people like Cheryl Walker Robinson teaching etiquette and protocol and things like that. I had Dennis Robinson teaching how to balance money. I had all these people doing it, and we played basketball at the highest level. Obviously, I've got 6 kids I got 6 kids in the NBA now, and another 80 that are playing professional basketball all over the world. And over 100 that played Division I basketball. But Daryl and I knew each other when we was out here doing things that I ain't talking about, I ain't bragging about right now. Okay, and so when we got back together, we had become husbands and fathers and things like that. And I said, hey, D, I want to start this program where we're able to coach basketball, but also give these kids life skills. And he was all for that. People don't realize that Daryl Dawkins was the first actual player to go straight from high school to the NBA. And I'll share a funny story. If I got 30 seconds, I'll share a funny story with you. The Philadelphia 76ers came to Daryl and said, Daryl, if you leave Martland High School here in Florida and you come to the NBA, we'll give you $500,000 a year. Wow. Daryl went to his mother and he said, Ma, the Philadelphia 76ers told me that if I sign this contract, they'll give me $500,000 to go straight to the NBA. His mother said, boy, you ain't going to no NBA. You going to college to play basketball. You going to college. Wow. Daryl didn't think none of it. The NBA came back. Billy Cunningham came back and said, listen, Daryl, if you sign this contract and come straight to the NBA, we'll give you $750,000 a year. Whoa. Daryl went to his mother. Now we're talking way back. We're talking back in late 70s, 80s. Okay. Daryl went to his mother and said, Mom, the Philadelphia 76ers said, if I sign this contract, they'll give me $750,000. Wow. His mother said, boy, I told you, you ain't going to no NBA. You going to college. Wow. I think she wanted him to go to Kentucky. I forget where it was, but you going to college, right? Yes. Daryl said, okay, Mom. A month later, the Philadelphia 76ers came back and said, Daryl, if you sign this contract, we'll give you $1 million. Daryl said, I ain't tell my mama nothing. Wow. True story. That's powerful. Daryl and I built a very successful program. We got sponsorship from Under Armour. We got sponsorship from IZOD. And if you follow Penn State football, Daryl's son, Nick Dawkins, is the starting center for the Penn State, which is the #2 rated program in the nation right now. That's amazing. And if you watch him and you get to know him, you'll see he's just like his father. He's still got that charisma and that joy. And I called him the other day, and he was like, hey, Uncle Eddie, what's going on? I said, because, Daryl passed some years. That is 12 years ago. And I called Nick and I started crying, telling him how proud I was. This was just last week. Telling him how proud I was of him and how much he's like his father and how proud his father is of him and would be of him, of the young man. And he's giving back. He's got a charity, everything there in Pennsylvania. A tremendous young man. So And once again,
That
it's
is
fun how
powerful.
things are passed down because
Yes, yes.
he's got that same joy that his father had.
Wow. So grateful for your time. But I think I need to ask you, because you are one of the few people, just like your dad, you can speak without saying a word, just in your silence, just being in your presence. Even text me when you go to the Bible with Jesus, he would say 2 words only, follow me. And people would drop absolutely everything and follow him. It's like, there is something, I don't know what it's called, no, gravitas, charisma, or whatever it is. You've got it. What is the secret of that presence? I guess some people may call it executive presence, but what is it and how do you develop that?
I have a genuine love for people, Bob.
Mm,
I really do. I really care. My wife always says, "You take so much. You tolerate so much. Why do you tolerate so much?"
yes.
And I try to explain that I've seen God's mercy in my life,
Hmm.
and I keep gratitude in my attitude. And I truly believe that there's nothing you can't have if you really want it. So
Yes.
I guess
Wow.
that's the answer. I have a
Yes.
genuine love for people. I
That's
enjoy
powerful.
people. I enjoy new experiences. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy being me. I would say
Yes.
enjoy
Yes.
being you. You know, Bob, you enjoy being Bob. I
Yes.
enjoy being me. I like
Yeah.
me. I like me. That might sound weird. That might sound
Yes.
weird, you know. And I know, listen, I know I got
Mm,
faults. I don't get high, excuse my language. I don't get high on
yes.
my own farts. I mean, you know,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know I've got things, areas I need to grow and I need to get better. But
Mm,
I enjoy people and I enjoy being around people and I enjoy being me. I
that
enjoy
is
this.
powerful.
You only get one shot at this. This ain't
Yes.
practice. You only get one
Yes.
shot at this, and do some things. Don't be afraid to do
Wow.
nothing. Don't be scared, or as they say, scared. Don't be
Yes.
scared of nothing.
Wow.
Just
That is really powerful. I
yeah,
remember Oprah said, right, nobody can beat you at being you. So
that's
it's
right. Amen.
incredible.
And guess what? And there's only you.
Yes.
And you know this might sound corny, but I stay in my lane because there ain't no
Yes.
traffic there. There ain't no
Yes.
traffic there.
Wow.
I stay in my lane because there ain't no
Mm,
traffic there. I enjoy being me. I stay in my lane. There's no traffic there whatsoever.
that is powerful. Okay. Again, I am very watchful of time. I know we've already passed the time. I'm very, very grateful you were able to stay. Maybe in 5 minutes, let me shut this down. But before I do have to ask you, which books would you recommend? What books have shaped your life? Books, movie,
I
music?
like, yes, it's a great question. I like Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel
Mm,
Kahneman.
yes.
It talks about there are two trains on everything we do. There's the first
Mm-hmm.
train, which is all intuitive and emotional. And then there's the second train where we think things and we're deliberate and there's a strategy and there's a goal around it. And I think that convergence, I'm trying to get better at that convergence and
Yes.
understand that about my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, we could get really heavy, start talking about the lust of this about it, but we have to be able to converge those thoughts. There's something I call the HALT principle,
Yes.
which helps me really appreciate this book, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow, because I try
Mm-hmm.
not to make any business decision when I'm hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. I'm subject to all those.
Huh.
HALT, HALT. So that's the
Yes.
first one. The Conversation by I'm trying to remember his name, Robert Livingston. And
Mm-hmm.
it's that conversation about inequity and prejudice and
Yes.
all those things, and then the myth about evolution
Mm-hmm.
is pretty important. I think that's by Ken Wiseman or Wisema. And
Wow.
there's a myth about all this and really understanding it. And there's so
Yes.
much to learn. And listen, you said something earlier. You don't
Mm.
take anyone as a
Powerful.
stranger. You said something because that's true.
Yes.
So whether I'm sitting here with a person who's white, I refer to them as brother. Hey, brother, how you doing? I mean,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I want them to know, listen, I'm not sitting up here with any uh, prejudgment of who you are, where you've come from. You follow what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Wow.
Um,
Yes. Wow. That is powerful. Powerful. Man, I really could talk to you all day and all day. I don't wonder where you've been all of my life. Definitely that book, you have to write it. I'm gonna be the first one to purchase it, because what's really amazing to me, since I was 17 again, I really got serious about this. I can purchase a book you write, Eddie. I spend what, $30, $40, and I get all of the wisdom you've had for your lifetime. I mean, that's like immeasurable. And the wisdom I can get out of it. And I can go back and read it again and read it again. Like, you have so many wisdom nuggets is what I call them. So I can read it again and again and meditate upon it. And then it goes and goes and I always get something new out of it. It's just too powerful. Okay, I do need to let you out of here. But before I do, if you had one day and only one day to live, what would you have liked your final contribution to be?
That I brought good into the world. That I
So,
brought good into the world. That
wow.
that I brought good, that I blessed someone's life. That I was able to be a blessing. I'm not afraid to
Yes.
say that I was able to be a blessing. Out of all the things that I've done or I have wasted or lost or accumulated, that I was a blessing. That someone, whenever it's my time to go home, that someone will say Eddie Bright was a blessing.
Yes.
And I didn't expect anything in return. As a matter of fact, when they turn around to say thank you, I'm already gone.
Yes.
I'm gone. I've made it a practice. If I do something for someone,
Oh my
when they
goodness.
turn around to thank me, they can't find me. That way they'll thank him.
Yes.
They'll thank
Wow. I can really say, I mean, you are a very, very generous man. I know the first time I heard you was on the Lori Daniel Favor show on Urban View, I think it is, channel 141, Sirius XM. And I reached out to you right away on LinkedIn, and you accepted my invitation without knowing me, and you've already helped me quite a lot. And I remember a time in my life when I was a student, an immigrant from the Congo. There was a civil war back in the Republic of the Congo. So I didn't have any support whatsoever, completely alone. People have helped me. That's why I am here
Amen.
today. And those people, I couldn't give them anything back, not even a dime. I couldn't pay them back, but they helped me anyway. So even now, I don't even know what their names are, and I can't pay them back. But the only way for me to pay them back is to help
Yeah,
somebody
but
else.
Bob,
who's in a position
listen,
where
man. You
I
know,
used
if
to
you
be,
look,
but
just what you've done in service to this country and service to this nation. Come on, man. Come on, man. You are to be applauded. You are to be celebrated, especially coming from another country. Unfortunately, there are many that don't grasp that, but you are to be celebrated. The beauty of your family. I know you were talking about, I know you've got a meeting possibly this week. Let me drop my daughter off. That's a sense of priority, celebrating your wife and what she's doing. That means that what's here and here is right. What's here and here is right. I mean, there was a great old age in this country where it was faith, family, career. We've sought, and I'm not trying to tell people they've got to have a religion. That's not what I'm saying. But first of all, family should always be first, if nothing else. Always. As a matter, if you look at the Bible, it wasn't about church. First thing was family. The family was blessed.
Yes.
The family was blessed. And some of the problems we have, whether it be on the left or the right, is about an absence of understanding family. Because if you build it within your own family, then you want it for your neighbor, and your neighbor doesn't have to look like you. The things you want for your family, that's our social contract, and our social contract has got all screwed up because the people on the far right and the people on the far left are saying, well, you're not Christian because you accept that group, or you promote that group, or you're trying to be tolerant of that group. That's not. That's.
Wow.
The God man was a man of love, and God is love.
Yes.
Not love is God.
Yes.
God is love.
Yes.
So let me not.
Wow. This is powerful.
We'll go.
Yes, I could talk to you all day long. We already 20 minutes over. Let me take this plan down in the next five minutes. Is there one thing when you wake up in the morning that you really would like to solve? One problem?
This political madness. This is good for us. It has literally become an issue of national security. Our extreme ideologies right now. It's made America very vulnerable.
True, and we have more in common.
I mean, I don't know if I can solve it, but that's what I would like to solve. I would like to be able to go to the hard right and go to the hard left and say this isn't. We're hurting being a great nation. Even with our original sin and slavery and things, obviously everyone want to talk about that anymore, and that's crazy. That's crazy because we can celebrate where we are and where we can go. Some people don't want that
yes.
over their children. Well, your children didn't do it, but it's good that they understand it, you know. And then this new generation
Absolutely.
doesn't have the same hangups that us baby boomers have.
Hmm.
We should celebrate
Yes.
that. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So toward the end now, what could we do to make a difference for you? How can we add value back to you? Thank you so
No,
much. You've been
listen,
extremely generous
this
with
has
your
been
time.
a wonderful platform. It's been a wonderful morning, Coach Bob. And I just want to, I'm like anyone else. I want to see you be successful. I want to see you have help for your journey. And if there's anything we can do for you here at ApTask Global, I want to make sure that we do that. And for all your listeners, obviously we're a service provider. Obviously we provide quality talent quickly around the world. We're doing business, and we're able to do business in 120 countries. So
Wow.
we're grateful for that, and we're able to provide great talent, and not just through our we don't call our recruiters, we call them career advocates. But we're able to good matching up great company with great talent, and we understand what's coming next, and we're using AI and all different types of things that are really helping our platform to grow. So I would leave it at that.
Wow. Wow, that is very powerful. Again, we're talking about ApTask Global. Wow. Okay, and to finish, then, is there a question you wanted me to ask that I haven't asked yet?
I'm sorry, is there what?
A question you wanted me to ask that I haven't
No,
asked yet.
I think we've covered a lot. You've let me
Okay.
run my
Yes.
mouth too much, if anything.
Yeah. I need to be better at that. But she says so much wisdom coming out of you. It's almost impossible to stop you. Okay, I think the most important question for me in the podcast really is if you could go back and give one piece of advice to your 17-year-old self standing at the edge of this incredible career you've had, what would you say to the 17-year-old Eddie Bright Jr.?
Don't be afraid to say no to yourself more. People
Wow.
that are talented and they can do things and move in certain circles and get places faster than others don't know how to say no to themselves sometimes, as they should. Say no to yourself. Say, that's not for me. I'd rather wait. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I haven't enjoyed the fruit of my labor, but sometimes saying no, sitting down and taking it easy. And some things aren't meant for you. You've got to live to find that out. My father used to always say a man needs to know his limitations. You've got to live to find that out.
Yes.
And that's for a man and a woman. You got to know your limitations. But don't be afraid to say no to yourself more.
Powerful. Okay, and now we're at the end. 3 adjectives describing you as a child.
I'm sorry?
3 adjectives describing you as a child.
Woo.
Really quick.
Fearless. Strategic.
Okay.
Compassionate.
Okay, now, as an adult.
Conservative.
Okay.
Thoughtful. Considerate.
Very good. All right, and the very, very last one. This is the end, I promise. What is one word that represents our shared experience on this podcast today? Which word comes to mind?
Enlightening.
Okay, I think I am super, super, super grateful. I can't believe I got Eddie Bright Jr. on the Leadership and Success podcast this year. Wow, this really made my day, my year. I know this is the longest podcast ever. We've gone over by almost 30 minutes. I'm very, very grateful for your time. I know you are super busy. Global CEO and everything, and mentor and everything you do for the community. So grateful. And thank you.
My pleasure.
All right,
Coach.
I know
it really is my pleasure.
You've got to go back to work, but really, really appreciate that. And I'm really glad that future generation will be able to listen to this podcast over and over and over again. I know I will. So much wisdom nugget. Thanks again,
Thank
Eddie.
you,
Really
Bob.
appreciate
Thank you
that.
for having me.
Let's share next time. Thank you. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what a day. This has been incredible. So I've checked online. I checked on both YouTube and LinkedIn. I didn't see any question, but we've really covered a lot. Again, this is the longest podcast that I have ever published in the last 4 years I've been here, and we only scratched the surface. Because believe me, I had about 12 questions that I had sent to AD to prepare for, but we only touched like 2 of the 12. So I know he's writing a book. When he published a book, I definitely want him back here. But yeah, it's really been a blessing, and I want you to know I'm going to be back today with the one and only Lida Citroen. So 9 a.m. my time. So that's going to be in 2 hours. I'm going to be back live here with Lida. So 12 p.m. on the East Coast. And if you can't make it, you will get the replay again on YouTube and LinkedIn. And then tomorrow, I believe I will have, let me see. Yeah, I will have Dr. Elisangela Rodriguez. She lives in Paris, so she speaks French, but she's originally from Brazil. And of course, she's conversant in English as well. So tomorrow morning, or about this time, 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be talking to her. I think it's going to be about 2:30 p.m. in Paris, France. And then after her in the afternoon, I believe around 3 o'clock, I will have my shipmate, Commander Kevin Jack. He and I in the Navy together, and I believe he's going to be retiring soon. Great guy to talk to. So it's going to be a great time on the Leadership and Success podcast. Thanks again for being here with me. So please make sure to like and repost to your feed and tag people you think this conversation will be beneficial to. Thanks again, and I see you in a couple of hours with Lida.
Bye, everybody.
Citroen. This is Coach Busy
Coach
saying
Busy.
bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach